Good morning, everyone. Was given the chance to be able to share some special thoughts that I'm hoping that will provide hope to all of you, especially with everyone going through our pandemic with COVID-19. There are struggles. We are challenged since March of 2020 with the many things going on. And the first person I think about is Queen Esther. Queen Esther had no idea of what God had planned for her. She was a Jewish woman, and right then and there, during that time, the Jewish people were looked down on, and women, they had no rights at all. They could not speak. It's not like today. There was no voice to be heard. But through the challenges of her life, and when she was chosen and groomed to become the future queen, even as a queen, she did not have the ability to approach the king. She had to wait to be acknowledged. But she knew she had to do something to save the Israelites. She knew, but she didn't know what, and she assumed that because she was a woman, there was nothing she could do, that she was powerless. But it was through her cousin Mordecai who said to her, there was always a plan for you from the very beginning. And if you choose not to follow what God has planned out for you, there may be others. But you need to think about, when God created you, He had a plan all along for you. So even when the women were looked down upon, Esther found the courage because she knew that she had to make every effort to save her people, even if it meant sacrificing her life. And she found the most smartest way to find a way where the king would acknowledge her, and began the story of how she began to save the Israelites and really call out to another man who appeared to be powerful because he was a man, he was big, and he was one of the soldiers of the king. But she was the one who brought light to the king's eyes on how to save the Jewish people. The reason I bring this up is that as many of us are going through today with the COVID-19 challenges of continuing with our businesses, challenges of being employed, challenges of taking care of the vulnerable population, and sometimes we often wonder, why, God? Why is this happening? And that's when we need to remember, and we see it in His Word, how He said to many people, He said to Joshua, be strong and courageous, okay? Joshua did not have a whole military behind, but Joshua was still able to do what God commanded him to do because of his faith. He knew that even if the odds of this world were likely against him, he knew to be brave. He knew that God would lead him. And the same with young David as a shepherd. David's faith in God was so strong that he fought off lions and bears to care for the sheep. And then when it came to Goliath, all mankind was fearful of Goliath. Why? Because in this world, he was viewed as the person who was stronger only because he was a bigger person, he was a man. But David knew that he did not have to have what the world viewed as strength. He knew that because of God, he had the most powerful being that would give him the strength. And if God said to go forward and defeat Goliath, that is what David did. So as I want to share with you, to give hope, God has a plan for us. Even when we are suffering, even when there's pain, know that He is with us the whole time, even as we are suffering. Remember Psalm 139, He created the most, He knew what we were going to become even when we were in our mother's womb. He had a plan for us. But He loved us so much that He allowed us to have a choice. and it's up to us on the road we choose. And as we are challenged again with the pandemic, with close ones who have passed away or close ones who are ill, as we are challenged because of the color of our skin, whether we have opportunity in education or in careers, know that it's so important to persevere because God has shown us through the people, whether it's Ruth or Esther or David or Noah, even when the world's view that the odds are against us, he has found a way to show his power and strength through the believers who had complete faith in him. So do not ever feel that you are alone in any way because God is with you. Thank you.